Today, I will be diving into the turbulent yet influential history of Studio Gainax, a powerhouse that shaped the anime landscape in a segment I like to call
The Rise and Fall of Studio Gainax.
Studio Gainax, founded in 1984, started with a group of university students passionate about anime and science fiction. Among the founders were Hideki Anno, Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, and Hiroyuki Yamaga. They had aimed to revolutionize the anime industry, and their efforts paid off quickly. Originally founded as Daicon Film, they began their career making tokusatsu fan films. These were parodies of other films and genres, known for their over-the-top acting and special effects. However, their first animated production was Daicon 3, a short produced for the 20th annual Japan National SF Convention held in 1981 in Osaka. This featured a girl fighting monsters and other famous pop culture icons from series like Star Trek, Gundam, and Godzilla, that ended with her watering a radish and blasting off into space for some reason or another. Unfortunately, the short was of poor quality, but the fact it was made by just 3 people honestly makes it impressive anyways. It wasn't until the 22nd JNSF convention in 1983 when they produced Daicon 4. This short featured a bunny suit-clad girl fighting even more pop culture icons from even more famous shows and books. However, good luck finding a hard copy of Daicon 4, as it used music from the band Electric Light Orchestra that they did not actually have the rights to use. So there's only a small amount of Laserdiscs available, and there's no official DVD release of it. Unlike Daicon 3, Daicon 4 was really well received for the clear improvement in the animation quality and the storytelling, and it kind of helped to set Daicon on the path to becoming great animators. It was only 2 years later in 1985 that Daicon Film rebranded as Gainax, with the name inspired by obscure term from the Tottori Prefecture, meaning giant, and the English suffix X to sound cool and international. Gainax's first major project, Royal Space Force The Wings of Hanamai, released in 1987 and was notable for its incredibly high budget, which was around $15 million in 2023 monies. It featured detailed animation and a rather mature narrative. However, the film was not profitable until it released on home video. The low box office sales and the mixed reviews didn't really seem to matter though, as the film established Gainax as a studio with a hugely ambitious vision, even though the production of this film was incredibly chaotic. Gainax would continue to pick up speed in the 80s with the release of the cyberpunk-styled Appleseed and the incredibly popular mecha anime Gunbuster. Gunbuster was actually the directorial debut of Hideki Anno and was inspired by an odd combination of the 1973 tennis anime Aim for the Ace and the 1986 American film Top Gun. But as the 80s came to an end, we moved into
the 1990s and the evolution of anime.
The 90s marked a significant period of growth for Gainax. This era saw the release of iconic works like Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water in 1991, which was an adventure series inspired by Jules Verne, and other 90s works that include the hamster sex comedy Oruchuban Ibichu, which was a wild ride of a show. We also got the otaku culture spoof Otaku no Video, Money Wars, and a handful of other series. Gainax also ventured into video games that ended up bringing in significant cash flow. Games like Princess Maker, where you raise a war orphan into an adult in a fantasy setting. Gainax also produced a fantasy game called Alicia Dragoon, featuring a badass-looking sorceress and her familiars wreaking havoc on monsters that I personally sunk many hours into trying to find all the little hidden nooks and crannies. It was in 1995 that Gainax truly left their mark on the world of anime with Neon Genesis Evangelion. This series found the perfect sync ratio and redefined the mecha genre entirely, exploring complex themes of psychology, existentialism, human relationships, and so much more. But despite its controversial ending, Evangelion became a cultural phenomenon. Evangelion ended up generating over $2 billion for the studio thanks to the show, additional movies, video games, and a still thriving merchandise line. Talk about making a big second impact. Right? Anyways, Gainax was at the top of their game, and they had a bright future ahead of them. However, Gainax faced numerous challenges that we will be talking about today, starting with
financial mismanagement.
Despite their creative successes, Gainax faced numerous financial challenges. The global success of Neon Genesis Evangelion led to a sudden influx of revenue, which gave way to poor investment decisions and increasingly mounting debt. This financial instability caused project delays and difficulties in paying staff and contractors, leading to one poor decision that almost shut down the company for good. In 1999, their AT field came down when Gainax president Takeshi Sawamura and accountant Yoshikatsu Iwasaki were jailed for their role in concealing 1.5 billion yen worth of income, resulting in 560 million yen in unpaid taxes. It was eventually revealed that Gainax was actually overpaying companies and then withdrawing that money as cash and storing it in safety deposit boxes, and the companies involved would receive a 10% kickback cut for their discretion. Despite the legal troubles, Gainax soldiered on, even though their financial strategy needed a serious rebuild. Unfortunately, the studio was still facing more issues internally, a big one being
production delays.
Just like Shinji, Gainax had a hard time getting in the robot of a consistent production schedule. Gainax had become notorious for delays on their projects. One of the earliest examples of Gainax struggle with deadlines is the planned sequel to Royal Space Force, which was announced in 1992 under the title Aoki Uru, but it has been in development hell ever since. Another series titled Olympia was shown in character designer Yoshiyuki Sadamoto's art book. This series looked beautiful and featured an epic space fantasy storyline that never got to see the light of day. In the description of this episode, there's going to be a link to an article by Brian Stremick on Zimmerit that showcases images and more details on the shelved project Olympia. The production troubles continued with Neon Genesis. Hideki Anno's constantly evolving vision resulted in rewrites and scrapped animation, which often led to episodes going out last minute just in time for broadcast. These constant rewrites and redraws strained the budget of Evangelion. It strained the animators and even strained the voice actors throughout most of the production. Some even saying that they felt physical and psychological problems beginning to develop. I think my personal favorite reasons for a delay from Studio Gainax comes from the production of Wish Upon the Pleiades.
Nuts.
The reason it took so long to get right is due to who they were partnered with to produce the series. That partner being the vehicle manufacturing company Subaru. This Magical Girl anime faced crazy delays due to the need to align the project with Subaru's brand image and marketing efforts, resulting in a ton of delays before it finally aired in 2015. Financial issues, legal troubles, production delays, and mounting creative differences between the founders and other staff would eventually lead to our next topic.
Studio departures.
The 2000s were a rough time for Gainax, as many of the most talented creators and founding members left to pursue other opportunities. The most notable departure was that of Hideki Anno, the director of Neon Genesis Evangelion, who left to form Studio Kara in 2006 and took the rights to Evangelion with him. But being a nice guy, he let them continue to have merchandising rights as long as he got a cut in a royalty. However, in 2016, Studio Kara sued Gainax for unpaid royalties related to the Evangelion franchise. The lawsuit claimed that Gainax owed Kara around 100 million yen, which is approximately $900,000. In 2017, a judge did order Gainax to pay the amount in full to Studio Kara. In 2019, Anno made a statement saying that Gainax had yet to actually contact him and apologize personally for the issues. Can you believe that? Can you believe the nerve of them? Another high-profile departure was Hiroyuki Imaishi, who left to co-found Studio Trigger in 2011, which has produced hit after hit with shows like Kill la Kill, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and the most recent worldwide phenomenon and a personal favorite of mine, Dungeon Meshi. Now, these departures reduced Gainax's production schedule severely. In contrast, Studio Kara has had 25 releases since 2006, and Studio Trigger has had over 40 since 2011.
Studio decline and bankruptcy.
The rise of streaming platforms and the massive increase in global anime consumption in the last couple decades has increased competition and set higher standards for production quality. As anime grew in popularity, more studios began to pop up, meaning Gainax had to contend with some seriously fierce competition. Studios such as Madhouse, Kyoto Animation, MAPPA, Toei, and many more have maintained or risen to prominence, overshadowing Gainax's influence in the industry. Adding more fuel to the flames, that was the slowly burning shell that was once Gainax, happened in December of 2019 when then studio president Tomohiro Maki was arrested for alleged molestation and taking topless photos of a minor who was working for his voice acting company under the guise of training her for the entertainment industry. Maki denied all allegations except for the photos which he swore the young girl requested he take. Let's be honest, even if that second part were true, an adult should know they shouldn't be doing that. Like, really, come on now, folks. Think for just 1 second. Years of staff departure, IP disputes, legal battles, production delays, and more took their toll. And on June 7th, 2024, Gainax officially filed for bankruptcy. This news is sad, but it's not unexpected given this studio's long history of challenges. And for many fans, myself included, it's the end of an era. Gainax had been this cornerstone of the anime industry, and its fall serves as a cautionary tale about the importance of financial management and consistent quality in creative industries. Despite the bankruptcy, Gainax's legacy lives on through its former subsidiaries and related studios like Trigger and Kara, which will take on or have taken on most of the Gainax IPs. This should offer some relief that your favorite shows still have a chance to rise from the ashes of what was once Studio Gainax. Thank you for taking this little journey with me through the rise and fall of Studio Gainax. Please check out our back catalog of retro anime reviews, and make sure to subscribe and rate the podcast and follow us on social media @Animates. Keep exploring the world of retro anime, and we'll catch you next time.